this video, I'm going to show you how to make an advert out of this image of Mr. Lungu. The program that I'm mainly going to be using is a program called Affinity Designer. Affinity Designer is a competitor to the commonly known program called Adobe Illustrator. You can use any program of your choice that's going to work. I choose to use Affinity Designer because it is cheaper. For $70, you actually get to have a lifetime license, which is cheaper than the subscription-based service that is provided by Adobe Illustrator. I am also going to use this program here, which is called Affinity Photo. Affinity Photo is an eco-competitor to the program Adobe Photoshop. Affinity Photo is an eco-competitor to the software Adobe Photoshop. So these are the two programs that I'm going to be using. I will use Affinity Photo and I will use Affinity Designer. You can use one if you wish. I choose to use two because I can use different tools in the different software to get different results. So the starting point is that I am going to start by getting an image of Mr. Lungu into Affinity Photo. So I'm going to come here, select new. Then what happens is that I'm given a choice of the size of the document. I may want it to be A1, A2, A3. You choose whichever one is going to work for you. And you can choose whether it's going to be in print, whether you want it to be print ready, to be used as a photo. And you also have this architectural option right over here. Additionally, you can choose to customize the size, which is what I'm going to go for. I want it to be 900 in width and 900 in height. Then the documents units, I am going to select pixels. Notice that it changes. So the best thing to do is to select pixels first, and then you can indicate that you want it to be 900 there and 900 here. Now, this is very important. You may have noticed that sometimes the images that you view on your screen are either too small or too big. Why? Because they may have been designed for different platforms. So when the graphics guy or the social media guy is told that, hey, listen, you need to create artwork for this particular campaign, they're going to create artwork for LinkedIn, they're going to create artwork for X, they're going to create artworks for Instagram, and they're going to create artwork for whatever other social media platform you're on. So 900 here, 900 here, 300 DPI, forget that. Let's not get into that jargon. All right. So forget everything else. Just make sure it's 900 there, 900 there, pixels, and you come here and you create. You come here and you create. Then you need to bring here, you need to import an image of Mr. Lungu. So you go to File, then you go to Place. This one here, Place. Then it's going to take you to your Explorer. You need to explore your computer. Where have you saved an image of Mr. Lungu? I have saved an image of Mr. Lungu in my downloads, and I simply come here. Okay, that's the one. Then I am simply going to click here and open. Then I'm going to click, hold down, and bring onto the screen here, onto the stage, an image of Mr. Lungu. So here it is. We have an image of Mr. Lungu. What we want to do at this particular point is to remove the background. Now there's websites where you can simply upload a picture, select, and it removes the background. Sometimes the results are good, sometimes they're not good. Try it out. But if you really want to be someone who knows exactly what you can do and you can work without relying on the websites, for example, there are tools, let's make use of them. But what happens, for example, if you don't have access to the internet? You still should be able to work. And that's what I'm showing you here. In this particular software, what we want to do is to change the background, to remove Mr. Lungu from this particular background. So notice that in this particular section here, there are layers. Layers are very important. It's like a paper on top of another paper, on top of a third paper, and so on and so forth. The one that you can see is the one that's on top. So for example, notice that there's only one layer. If I add onto this particular screen, onto this particular stage, if I add an object, say I add this object like this, so this creates another layer. So this layer is like a paper on top of the image of Mr. Lungu. We can make it invisible, or we can make it visible, or we can delete it altogether. That's very important. So what we want to do is to remove the background. We want to remove Mr. Lungu from this particular background. Important at this particular point is that I am going to lock this layer so that I don't get to manipulate it, and in case I make mistakes, I can go back to the original layer. I'm going to right click and select duplicate. So I'm going to work with the duplicate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come to these tools right over here, and I'm going to select this particular one here, which is the selection brush. Click on it, and I'm going to highlight Mr. Lungu. So you see those, my pointer is yellow, but inside my pointer is this little, really little round black thing. You see it? Now let's make it bigger. How do you make it bigger? By pressing the right square bracket. On your keyboard, you should have that. The brackets, now the square brackets. So when you click the right one, it's going to become bigger and bigger. If you continuously click on the left square bracket, it's going to become smaller. So choose whatever size you want, and then you're going to hold and click and just make sure you have a selection of Mr. Lungu. Okay, there's a selection of Mr. Lungu. Be as precise as you can. You can always change, you can always edit this stuff. Alright, let's make it a little smaller here so that we can only select what we need, and the microphone should be selected. Okay, and his hand, Mr. Lungu's hand. Alright, and the little gadget is holding. Alright, so just be as precise as you can. Just be as precise as you can. His hand there as well. The microphone. Alright, be as precise as you can. Alright, let me come here to subtract so that I can remove a little bit here, just a little bit, just subtract a little bit of that. Okay, I've subtracted more than I should, so let me just add a little bit more selection. Yeah, this should give us something that's reasonable. Let's see here as well. Let me just add. Yeah, so after you make a selection, like in this particular case, you then come here to refine. Okay, you click there, and automatically the program is going to detect what you selected, because that is what it is going to cut out. So I'll move this here. So what is selected is a fair image of Mr. Lungu, but take notice that there's that red over there. So it means his hand is going to be cut out. So that's not what we want. So let me just close this. Yeah, let me close this. Let me just make this bigger a little bit by clicking on the right square brackets, so we can select his hand like that. Okay, just a little bit more so that his hand doesn't look as if it's the hand of a pig. Yeah, maybe, in those, like that. Yeah, this is better. So back to refine. Let's see. Okay, I think this is better. Okay, demonstration. Then we go to selection here, output. We want a new layer. Okay, new layer. Click that and apply. All right, so now we have a new layer, but take notice that the new layer is here. Now, what I'm going to do is let's make this invisible. So this is an image that we've cut out of Mr. Lungu. This is an image that we've cut out of Mr. Lungu that we can now begin to use. It's got a transparent background. So I'm going to select this, right click and copy. Then I'm going to go to Affinity Designer. In Affinity Designer, I'll create a new document. I'll come up here, File, New. Then I am going to make a selection of the size that I want. 900, not a selection, I'm actually going to customize. So 900, in fact, the best thing to do is to enter pixel first, then 900 there, then 900 here, like that. Then create. So what we are doing now is create the screen, the scene, all right, more like a stage. And on this particular screen, remember, we did copy an image of Mr. Lungu, so we are going to paste it here. So I'm going to just simply right click and paste. So here we have an image of Mr. Lungu. We can change the size, make it smaller, for example. All right, that's okay. We've made it smaller. All right. Okay, so we can now begin to add other assets here. And which asset you add first, which asset you add last is entirely up to you. So in this particular case, let me come here and just get let me come here and get a shape. Let me get this rectangle shape, and I'm going to draw it right over here. All right, it's on and above Mr. Lungu, so that goes to what I was explaining about the layers. What's on top is what you're going to be able to see. In this particular case, there's a layer of Mr. Lungu here, but it is below the rectangle. So that's why we can't see Mr. Lungu. So what we can do is we can select this one, this layer where there's Mr. Lungu, and we can bring it on top of this one. There are two ways in which this can be done. So one option is I can simply drag it up like that. That's what I could do. Or I could come to these two right over here, and I can simply say move in front. So there it is. We've moved this one to the front. Okay. Behind all this is this particular layer. So if we decided, let's say, okay, this particular layer, let's change the color. You see, you have got these color options right over here. So let's say, let's change it to blue. Oh, that is too blue. All right, let's change it to that blue. Okay, maybe this, I don't know what color this is. So you see that we can now begin to change the colors. We can change it to this terrible color over here. Or, you know, look for that reasonable blue. We can just move this around. Okay, say something like this. All right. I'm hoping that it's beginning to add up. When you start everything from the scratch, it really doesn't make sense. You know, it's like a lot of things that happen in the background. People only are interested in the results. So you are going to sit and work on this. All right, so we have Mr. Lungu and there's a background. Okay, now let's begin to make this look a little much more interesting. So, okay, can we move Mr. Lungu here? Okay, not bad, not bad. All right, or maybe we move Mr. Lungu here. It's entirely up to you. What should we do? So what should we do, or what can we do? Many things. All right, so let's get the same one. All right, let's lock this so we don't change this. Let's put other assets onto this particular stage. Let's put other assets onto this particular stage. I'm going to come right here. This is the pen tool. I'm going to go to the pen tool, and I'm going to select this corner and draw up to this corner over here, and draw up to that corner over there, and draw back up to where it started. So what I have done is I have drawn onto this particular screen a rectangle.
No, it's a triangle.
It has the same color as this other one here. So let's just change it a little bit so that it can look different. There it is. Looks a little different. All right, great. So what you can do is you can double click on it, and you can come right to the edges here. So when I come here, then I can move this like this. All right, give it some design. So here it is. This is the rectangle. This is a triangle. This is a triangle that I drew. It's got an outer lining of 0.2 points. Now, I don't want that. I just don't want it to have any outer lining. Okay, no stroke. So it should be like this. All right, great. Okay, so let's get an image of Mr. Lungu. Here he is. Come to layer here. Then we can transform. And what do we want to do? We want to rotate. You can rotate left, rotate right. So look at what happens, for example, when I say flip horizontal. Okay, that's what happens. I want Mr. Lungu to face to the left, you know. All right, move it there. Then you see that Mr. Lungu is below this. Yeah, so we want him above. So I'll just click that there, move it on top. Yeah, so there we have an image of Mr. Lungu. Let's see, let's make it smaller. Oh, would you prefer it bigger? It's entirely up to you. All right, we're getting somewhere. You can add more assets. Okay, you can add more assets. So Mr. Lungu offers a number of services. All right, so let's see. Can we put him up for elections? We say vote Lungu. Should we do that? Yes, we are going to put him up for elections. Yes, yes, yes. Because he is not contesting for any position. So this is just being done for demonstration purposes. Actually, nah, we're not going to do that. So Mr. Lungu offers professional services. Okay, he offers professional services. All right, let's do this. Maybe professional services. All right, text. Let's make it bold. Looks better. Professional services. Okay, maybe we can make it smaller like that. How about if we change the color to white? Come here, white. All right, press H. Okay, professional services. All right, okay. Okay, not bad. All right, come here. Okay, we're going to add a strip right behind, just down here. We're going to add something like this. Okay, we're going to add this down here. Let's see. Okay, all right. And down here, okay, now this, you see, this edge, I would like it to really reach at the corner there. So which one is this? Is this one here? Okay, is this one here? All right, so we can just adjust this, make it bigger like that. Okay, there, like so. All right. Nah, no. This should reach, yes, there. You see? This is better. All right, it's better. Let's see, move this down. So Mr. Lungu offers professional services. What professional services does Mr. Lungu? There are a number of them. He said manifesto writing. Okay, manifesto writing. Okay, let's start with one. Okay, manifesta. So I'm just simply going to right click on this one so that I can get the correct spelling, which is this one, manifesto. All right, and also services. The spelling for services is not correct. We need to put an R there. Okay, so he offers professional services, which include manifesto writing. We can change this and make it smaller like this. All right, now in front of that you can choose what you want to put. You can put an image of your choice. So let's assume, let's say we just get this small little rectangle. Okay, so let me delete that. I'm going to hold shift on my keyboard and hold down the mouse. Okay, that way I make the image grow proportionately. All right, so I'm going to move this particular image right in front of manifesto. Okay, maybe let me just move like that so that we can align it. All right, just move this by pressing the right key arrow on your keyboard. Okay, so down there like that. Okay, so that's what he does. Manifesto writing offered by Mr. Lungu. Okay, yeah. So this one, what can we do? The color, let's just change it to white completely. Okay, completely white. All right, so I'm going to select these two and I'm going to press Ctrl G on the keyboard so that I can group them. After I've pressed Ctrl G on the keyboard, what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to duplicate this. Right click on it, copy, and then right click, paste. So it is pasted on top of this one. So I simply need to select, make a selection here and move it down like that. That is one option. The other option is you could simply select this one, Control on your keyboard, press Control and press J at the same time. So it duplicates it. So let me move just one below the other. Then I'm just simply going to press Ctrl J again multiple times. That way, the distance between each one of these assets is going to be the same. So Mr. Lungu offers manifesto writing services. He also offers, let me just indicate the other. He also image building. He indicated image building. Then there's also personal branding. Okay, there's personal branding, and also he does offer stakeholder management, like that. Then he also offers a number of other services. So let me just, for this demonstration purposes, let me remove these others. All right, so we have these. Okay, maybe we move them down a bit like this. Okay, great. So basically, this is how the graphics guys do their work. Of course, there's much more that we can do in this particular case. Let's see. We can add a number of other features. So let's see. Assuming these services were provided by Mr. Lungu, he's provided them as an affiliate of the Zambia Institute of Marketing. So we can bring in an image of the Zambia Institute of Marketing logo. We go to File, then we go to Place. I put it on the desktop. I saved it as Zim logo transparent. Okay, there it is. Okay, so going to put it here, for example. All right, for demonstration purposes only. This is for demonstration purposes. Yeah, this is like the really simplistic way of doing it, but of course there's much more that we can do. So let me just get this text, copy it, Control. I'm going to copy it down here. Okay, so down here, then in Mr. Lungu, you can say core 09 XXXXXX, whatever, you know, the number, whatever number you're going to put. Possibly you may want to include a website as well. Okay, so it could be www.mrlungu.com. all right, you can just add those there like that. Okay, something those lines. Of course, we can improve upon this. Let's see, what can we do to improve upon this one? Okay, let's see, a number of things that we can do here. We can bring in another image. We can actually bring in other images. Let's see, what image do you think we can bring in here? So let me bring in another image. File, Place, Downloads. I called it AI generated. Could it be this one? Let's try this one. AI generated. Yeah, this image. Let's bring in this image. Like that. Let's just make it bigger so that it fits the screen. Okay, this image. Okay, of these two guys. This image like that. Okay, just crop it down like this. Okay, so there's this image right over here. Select this image and then come here where it says opacity. It's currently at 100%, so we can just change the opacity to less than 100, like that. Okay, to less than 100. This rectangle too, I'm going to make it invisible, like that. Okay, going to be invisible. Apart from the particular image that we've brought in. Which is this one. Okay, let me lock this one. Let me highlight everything here and bring it on top like that. Okay, bring everything on top like that. Okay, so you see, at least you can see right below this, the image is here. The image is here of that particular you can see the image that we brought onto the screen. Let's see, let me select it. It's right over here. Opacity is at 21. Maybe let me increase the opacity a little bit. Let me just increase it so you can see more, like that. And this particular curve right over here is this one. All right, let me just reduce the opacity as well of this one. Let me reduce the opacity so that, okay, maybe that's too much. All right, so maybe let's just let's just leave it like that. You get the idea. I mean, look, with time you would actually need to just think through how best you can do it. All right, so this should be it, at least for demonstration purposes. So in case those of you that may be interested to know what software you could possibly use and how you play around or how you use the assets. All right, let me bring these right on top. How you use this particular assets is all good. Let's change now. Let's assume you wanted to change the color, okay, to make it this Zim color, to give it this Zim color right over here. This, all right. So you just come here. This is the color picker, and then you're going to click there. Okay, this is terrible color. It's terrible. So let's just go back to white. White is good. White is good. So this is how it's done. If you are comfortable and you're satisfied that this is the work that you want to do, obviously way much more than this can be done. Oh, notice that here under stakeholder management, we don't have akaka box kali pasogoro aka. So what do we do? Actually, let's just remove this one, stakeholder management. So we just get this one, control on your keyboard and drag down this one. Okay, like that. Okay, so then we can select this and say stakeholder management. Yeah, like that. Okay, so there's much more that can be done. Really much more that can be done. Zim does offer a digital marketing course, and part of what you learn is this, I believe. What you may then need to do is simply come here to File, Export the document. So you choose whether you want to export this document as a PNG, as a JPEG, as a GIF file, or you have all these other options including PDF and SVG. In this case, I'll choose PNG. And the size, remember we had indicated the size, and you click on export. Where do you want to export this? Let me put it on the desktop, easier for now. And I'll say Mr. Lungu. Save. With that done, let me just simply go to my desktop. My desktop is right over here. And I am going to simply search for Mr. Lungu. Mr. Lungu, and here it is. An advert of Mr. Lungu. My name is Savoy. I work as a Human Resource Associate. I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Captain 37, and my Facebook page is Marketing Study in Zambia. Goodbye.